Visit Milwaukee. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Maxx.
Welcome to What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. And I'm going to tell you, beer is the theme tonight. And there's a reason for that. Not just because we're here in Milwaukee. I have guests who are going to come in and share their enthusiasm and expertise in beer from Bavarian Beer House. Owner and general manager Josh Nyrider and brewmaster Jacob Sutrick will be here in just minutes. And also from HB Milwaukee, Managing Director Hans Weisgerber III. You know him from Old German Beer Hall and also at Estabrook Park. So, you know, beer is part of our culture here, not just in Milwaukee, but in Wisconsin. Also, Miller High Life has just announced today a crazy collectible for record fans. It's a vinyl album with actual beer inside the clear vinyl. I'm going to tell you details on what's on the record and how you can get your hands on that to play it on your turntable. But why a beer theme? Well, did anybody wish you a happy National Beer Day today? If they didn't, they should have, because it is official every year on April 7th here in the United States. It marks the day 1933, the Cullen-Harrison Act went into effect, allowing people to legally buy, sell, and drink beer again after about a decade of prohibition. At like 13 years. That was a big deal. People lined up outside breweries and taverns to raise a glass. And now we still get to raise a glass. But one of the funnier things about this is that when Franklin D. Roosevelt, president at the time, signed the Cullen-Harrison Act, legalizing beer officially into law March 22nd, 1933. But we're celebrating today. 3.2% alcohol. He said, I think this would be a good time for a beer. I think we can all agree on that. That's one of those things that a president says that pretty much everybody can agree on. But truly, it was like, you know, how people line up for Black Friday shopping. It was that kind of a response when people could finally drink a legal beer after prohibition. And I guess that means last night was New Beer's Eve. But that's Sunday into Monday. That's kind of rough for me. I don't know that I could do that. But we're going to celebrate beer here on What's on Tap. And there's one unique beer event to look forward to this weekend. Have you heard of Brewed and Tattooed? It's a festival in Green Bay. Badger State Brewing put together this unique event. Live tattooing, craft beer, music, and artistry, Saturday and Sunday at the Barrel House at Badger State Brewing. Live tattooing by top Wisconsin artists. There's like about 7 tattoo organizations and businesses that you can get tatted up. And if you're the first person who gets a Badger State Brewing tattoo, your reward is free beer for 1 year. And they have an exclusive beer release happening called Dark Tides, a special release black IPA with a limited edition can with artwork by Micah Gunderson from Northern Tide Tattoo. So I like it when we can combine the artwork into the craft brewing. And DJ Wax Addict is providing music. There's going to be pop-up vendors with artists and makers and all kinds of food vendors. The one thing, though, if you're going to go and get brewed and tattooed, you got to be 21 or over, obviously, because it's a beer festival. But your tattoo is not included with admission. First come, first serve, and very important, you can't consume alcohol before or during your session. That's a Brown County Health Department regulation. But brewed and tattooed in Green Bay could be a fun way for you to celebrate this weekend. Next, though, I'm very excited to welcome 2 gentlemen, because there's a spot in Glendale that feels like Oktoberfest all year long. It is Bavarian Beer House, and we are going to meet them next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
You missed this.
Can you talk about how often officers are ending up at schools and how difficult those situations are?
3,100 calls a school year. It was about a 17 calls a day.
Or this.
Handpicking the press pool. What are your thoughts on that?
I have many, as you might imagine. I've been in the press pool covering the White House, the greatest privilege of my repertorial life.
Catch up on the Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast at WTMJ.com, presented by Dave Drakamp Heating.
We've all experienced that feeling of lacing up a brand new pair of shoes.
And for some reason, it always felt like new shoes made you run faster, jump higher, and of course, look better.
Yeah, it was almost magical.
A brand new set of tires on your car or truck will instantly give you that same magical feeling.
Courtney, I couldn't agree with you more. A new set of treads always makes your vehicle look better, but more importantly, allows you to stop faster and grip the road a whole lot better.
Which is necessary when the weather is bad and driving conditions are poor. You'll appreciate having the extra traction.
Remember, there isn't a tire brand on the planet we can't get.
Everything from Goodyear Continental and Kelly to Dunlop General and Pirelli. If we sell it, we install it.
Plus, every tire we sell automatically comes with free flat tire repair. So be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Who's hungry? Mark your calendar April 19th through the 27th for Lake Geneva Restaurant Week. This culinary adventure showcases dozens of the area's top restaurants, serving up exclusive breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus at unbeatable savings. From casual cafes to elegant fine dining, the choices are endless as we celebrate Lake Geneva's amazing dining scene. Check out participating restaurants, menus, and all the tasty details at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for distinctive dining.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ.
Happy National Beer Day. I like seeing you bopping along. I'm Sandy Maxx, and in the WTMJ studio with me from Bavarian Beer House in Glendale, owner and general manager Josh Nyrider. Josh, bopping along?
Yep.
And brewmaster Jacob Sutrick.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen. I love that you never get tired of good German music to get you in that
Not
peppy
at all.
mood.
We love it.
Thank you for bringing the Gemütlichkeit.
Yep.
Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, that's right.
Close.
He'd be the one to ask, yeah.
I would say, I feel like in our email exchange, Josh, do you speak German?
Ja, ich kann Deutsch sprechen. Kein Problem.
How do you say Happy National Beer Day?
Yeah, glücklichen National Beer Day. Biertag.
That's true. That's true. It is a Tag Day. Well, thank you very, very much for coming in. It does warm my heart every time I'm on I-43 and I can just see those blue and white checks, and it does look like a little bit of Bavaria there on the side.
It's
and
Oktoberfest every day.
I love it. So, what are each of your roles at Bavarian Beer House?
I come up with all the recipes and make a majority of the beer. I also have an assistant who helps me make the beer, but I'm the head brewer, brewmaster.
I think Jacob's one of the most important people there, if not the most important person, because it is the Bavarian Beer House, and he makes the greatest beer, I think, that I've ever had in our area.
You're making me blush again.
No, that's saying something, because Josh, as the owner and general manager, and you've overseen the evolution, 2016, when the remodeling and the unveiling of that space, because it's always been a fun space.
Yeah, I came in shortly right after 2016 to do consulting to help out. I was coming from Nashville at the time, where we did another Bavarian Beer House. But my background was actually in winemaking in Germany. But at the time, I thought it was more fun to be in the beer culture and bring that back to the area.
So for you to say, Jacob, you've got one of my favorite beers I've ever drank, you really have the palate, Josh, of having that German experience in wine and beer.
Right. The thing is that we really strive to get all our ingredients from Germany. Everything that we have there, besides the water and a few other things, come from Germany. And we work right now strictly with Weinstefan, which is the oldest brewery in the world, from the year 1040. And we are lucky because in about a month from now, we will be brewing beer with them here in Milwaukee to be released this summer.
That's exciting.
It's pretty.
We haven't told anybody
incredible.
yet. You're the first person we've ever told.
Well, thank you for breaking that news here on What's on Tap on WTMJ. How does that relationship come about?
It's been about 5 or 6 years that we've gone back and forth. They are German, so they need to make sure that relationship is strong and understand that we're going to do everything that we need to do to make sure that we uphold their name. They came here and they tried our beer, and they looked at me and Jacob, and they go, I don't know why you even serve our beer because yours is fresh and it's really great. And at that time I was like, wow, they really are impressed by the beer that we make. Maybe we could work together.
That's incredible, because explain the Bavarian purity laws. I'm sure, Jacob, you know as a brewmaster.
You can just put water, malt, hops, and yeast in the beer, and that's it.
Is there a special water that you're using, or is that? I assume that's a big secret.
Actually.
That is a good question. Being here, we're not. We can do it, but the beer wouldn't be quite as good as the way they do it over there. We add some salts to our water to make the profile a little bit more palatable for our beers. So we're not going 100% with that, but with the Weihenstephan collab, we're going to try and do it as close to possible.
Wow, but to impress the Weihenstephan people, brewmasters, that's incredible that is their culture and their world. And I had one of those German beers, the Weihenstephan. I just wasn't pronouncing it correctly. September of 2020, drove all the way up to Copper Point up on Lake Superior and had it at a great, I think they even call it Harbor House. It's a wonderful supper club up there. Yeah.
We do serve it by us. It's the only German beer that we serve besides our own. But again, because our beer is everything, the ingredients-wise, almost the same as theirs except for the water.
How exciting. Well, congratulations on that relationship. I'm excited to sip on that this summer.
Us as well, yeah.
Talking with Bavarian Beer House, the owner and general manager, Josh Nyrider, and the brewmaster, Jacob Sutrick. Going to crack open a beer. I think you're going to. Are you going to threaten to do that right now?
Yeah, is that all right?
Sure. We're going to talk about the beers that you have brought in to taste, and also about the German brewing heritage and culture here in Wisconsin. Stay with us on What's on Tap on this happy National Beer Day.
Brewers baseball is the sound of summer in Milwaukee. And now you can catch the Brewers on local TV for select Tuesday night games.
Curio sends it deep to left, and
it's Brew Crew Tuesdays. On April 15th, the Crew take on the Detroit Tigers at 6:40 p.m.
Half swing. He went. Another strikeout for Freddie Peralta.
This Brew Crew Tuesday is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. See the action on Fox 6 in Milwaukee and check your local listings for where you can watch over the air statewide on April 15th.
Hey there, I'm Sandy Maxx at WTMJ, telling you about incredible career opportunities with my friends at Three Pillars Senior Living Communities in Dousman. And Three Pillars rated as the top senior living community in Wisconsin and a certified great place to work. They are hiring resident assistants and caregivers, with some starting at $20 per hour. You could get more based on experience and on shifts. The best part, you'll make a difference in the lives of others every day at Three Pillars. Go to threepillars.org and click the Careers tab to learn more.
I know that 1 in 10 veterans struggle daily with mental health issues. Suicide is a real risk. If you or someone you love is struggling today, you are not alone. Support is at reachoutwis.org to find local resources available for you and your loved ones. Reach out today.
Paid for by Advancing a Healthier Wisconsin Endowment, with support by the Medical College of Wisconsin, the War Memorial Center, and reachoutwis.org.
Brew City is ready to celebrate the draft's return to Wisconsin. Milwaukee Tailgate Week, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook, April 24th through the 26th. It features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, its attractions, brews, pubs, restaurants, and venues. The festivities culminate on Saturday, April 26th with Jordy Nelson's Milwaukee Tailgate with Inside the Huddle Live. Buy your tickets now for only $10 and learn more at visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
Happy National Beer Day from me, Sandy Maxx. What's on Tap? And my in-studio guests right now are from Bavarian Beer House, the owner and general manager, Josh Nyrider, and brewmaster, Jacob Sutrick. And Jacob, I'm not allowed to sip while I'm working, but I love that the two of you are. This is what you do at Bavarian Beer House.
We picked the right job.
Exactly. Yeah. Hosts with the most. What are these growlers that you have brought in, and what are you and Josh sipping on right now?
So we're sipping on the Pilsner right now, which because I brought Oktoberfest as well, but I'm going to save that for you when you're allowed to drink that.
Thank you.
These are the Pilsner is like one of our staple beers that we have on year-round. Oktoberfest we generally only make for Oktoberfest, which is the first weekend of September through the first weekend of October every year. But we also have our halfway to Oktoberfest celebration coming up on Saturday, so we made a special batch just for that.
That's fantastic. And Oktoberfest, what a German celebration, and you truly are keeping German heritage and tradition alive in Glendale. Like, how big is Bavarian Beer House's space?
The space is quite large. Old Heidelberg Park is part of our space, and that's where the Oktoberfest is held. We don't know the exact date of when it started, but it's somewhere around 90 years ago. We found a sheet of paper that was explaining that you could take the streetcar all the way to the last stop for Oktoberfest, which was us, and that sheet of paper was over 90 years old.
That's incredible. What a fun little map to find.
Right, yeah.
Now we got to get the hop to come out to Glendale.
Yeah,
so
right.
drop you off right there at Old Heidelberg Park.
Perfect.
Hilarious. But you have the big beer hall. So I have to think Saturday, there's going to be a lot going on your halfway to Oktoberfest. I got to think there's going to be some Stein holding.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting. We do from 11 a.m. to 2 half-off liters. And then we do keg tapping. So we'll tap the Oktoberfest beer that we made, I believe, at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock, there'll be a 20-liter tap given away for free until it's gone.
Yum.
And then we have the
Prost.
Freistadt Alte Kameraden band, which is the big brass band they'll be playing. And everything takes place inside in the beer hall, so you're not cold and outside. So
the band is a big deal. Because you talk about German culture and music, and we've been toe tapping, with the music that brings us back to our conversations. But what's special about the band?
The band,
and you have to say the name because I'm not going to say it.
Freistadt Alte Kameraden.
Alte Kameraden.
And I believe there's 30 plus members, and they are kind of between Germantown and Mequon. There's a settlement, but they've been there at least for 60, 70 years, maybe more. The settlement's older than that. But they've played, I believe, since the 60s, 50s or 60s in Glendale by us. So it's a big tradition, and they are great. They're amazing.
That's going to give that vibe. That's wonderful. And so you were mentioning that you used to work in the wine business in Germany.
I did, yep.
I
did most of my studies in winemaking, but I found the beer culture to be a little bit more exciting. So when I came home, I worked for the Hofbrau Brewery and sold beer here locally for general beverage. And then after that, I did some other bars and restaurants in the area, and now I'm in Glendale.
And you're bringing some of that Germany here. I'm taking a group of WTMJ listeners to Hofbrauhaus and some other breweries in Germany, Austria, and Czech Republic. Any helpful hints or like a favorite spot in Munich?
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but the Augustiner Keller, is one of the best beers. They don't really export it. They do in small amounts, but that's close to the Hofbrauhaus. So you should definitely visit there.
That's one of our stops.
The vibe at the Augustiner Keller is amazing.
It's great. Yeah. So we do travel back and forth, and I did do 15 years of tours in Munich for Hofbrauhaus for Oktoberfest.
Wow.
So we took a group every year of 15 to 30 people, depending, and that gets interesting.
I'll get some other tips from you.
The biggest tip is to make sure that you tell them when you're leaving and that you're not going to bring them home because they always get separated. The beer has funny ways of doing that.
And you've also brought in a delicious, huge pretzel to go with your tasty beers. I assume not only are you serving excellent beers at Bavarian Beer House, but you've got some authentic German food regularly, and that you'll be celebrating the halfway to Oktoberfest on Saturday.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, on Saturday we'll be serving traditional German food like we always do, but some added stuff. We have a sauerbraten platter that'll be on there, the schnitzel, the Schweinehaxe, which is the large pork shank, and then the sausage platters, which obviously are going to come from Usinger's fine sausage in Milwaukee here.
You say obviously, but I love that that's part of our community here with such a strong German heritage of people who came here and settled and started these businesses that have gone on for generations. That's wonderful that you're able to support that. And using
and we
yours is
love
good.
to.
And Jacob, I heard talking about the Alte Kameraden band.
Alte Kameraden, yeah.
Are you going to get on stage? I understand you're also a musician.
I am, but the stuff that they do is way out of my league. I'm a aspiring musician. They're actually musicians. I play music in bands, but I'm not that good.
What is your instrument of choice?
Right now I'm playing guitar.
And how do you see creativity either comparatively? How does it contrast with brewmaking? Because I feel like being a brewmaster, is it some intuition with the recipe or is it just following it specifically?
That's mostly coming up with the recipe for beer is like knowing what you're putting into it. And I think playing music, the recipe for a song is just like release. For me anyway, I don't know. But yeah, they're different, but they're both creative.
And what's your Munich travel tip?
My Munich travel tip. Go when it doesn't snow more than it usually does, because when we were there was a ton of snow, and it was really hard to navigate.
Biggest storm in 100 years in downtown Munich, and we were kind of closed in, but
it was really fun.
When you know the right people, we were able to get out.
I would just say, but that is part of what makes travel fun and memorable, when everything doesn't go quite as planned.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was amazing.
He is brewmaster Jacob Sutnick. Thank you. And he is Josh Nyrider, owner and general manager of Bavarian Beer House.
Thank you so much.
Lots of Prost. Have a wonderful time at the Halfway to Oktoberfest event on Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Happy National Beer Day.
Take care.
Now we go to the WTMJ Breaking News Center. Here is Jessica Gatso.
Thanks, Sandy. A swatting incident at an MPS elementary school. A suspect falsely reported that a shooting was taking place at Samuel Clemens School on Hope Street today. There is no threat at this time, and no arrests have been made. Extra security after another school receives a threat. A.E. Burdick School on Milwaukee's south side held classes as normal today after a threat just before 3 p.m. on Sunday. Police say that a person sent threatening messages to a student and that they've increased monitoring at the school today. They're still searching for an unknown suspect. 3 drunk driving arrests in 30 minutes. Oak Creek police made the arrests early Sunday morning. It started when officers were called to a gas station to break up a fight inside a vehicle. The driver was eventually arrested for OWI. Then a drunk driver got his car stuck on railroad tracks near Drexel Avenue and was arrested. Finally, a friend from the gas station incident then arrived to pick him up, and it turns out that driver also had a blood alcohol content double over the legal limit and was arrested. Charges are pending. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Pretty clear on the roads this evening, no major incidents and no delays. And time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, isolated snow showers early, then clearing skies, breezy and cold, a low of 23. On Tuesday, sunny skies, but chilly, a high of 40. On Wednesday, cloudy with rain and snow likely towards the evening, a high of 40. On Thursday, rain and snow early. We could see some accumulation, a high of 37. On Friday, mostly sunny skies, a high of 43. Right now in Madison, it's 36 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 33. In Waukesha, it's 34. And in Milwaukee, it's 34 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:32.
Pain can make you feel like no matter what you try, it's not going to work. Or it can make you try any and everything. And most times that'll make you feel like you've been taken for a ride. It's hard to believe that there's a solution to your pain problem that works, is safe, and is actually affordable. But that's why most insurance plans pay for pain treatments from Rejuvenex, because they're FDA approved and they do work. Toradol and hyaluronic acid work together to substantially alleviate your pain. And we've seen patients experience pain relief for greater than 2 years after completing a series of treatments. Is it a one and done? No. But at as low as $65 per joint, it's an affordable alternative to surgery. And it's not an expensive cross your fingers and hope it works experiment. Especially for older pain sufferers, the pain treatment that Rejuvenex offers is worth trying, because the vast majority of patients who do live better lives in a lot less pain. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters for your home or your business. They came out and did the exterior of our house. The team walked around the entire house with me, pointed out a couple spots that I needed some extra work done. I didn't even realize it. The teams at CertaPro, they've got your back. Call and ask about their spring sales event going on now through May 15th. It's CertaPro Painters, the best in the business. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. It's CertaPro Painters. Took care of me, they'll take care of you. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeanssitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Steel walk behind, zero turn, and stand on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx is back on WTMJ.
Munich. Sonntag. Lustiger Tag. Munich.
It still makes me laugh, and it is a Munich Monday. We were just celebrating National Beer Day with two gentlemen from Bavarian Beer House in Glendale, and they were giving me some more Munich tips just during the news. So I love that I can help us make the best trip ever on my European brewery tour in September. You've heard me talking about it. This is your invitation because we're going to start in Munich, which, as you just heard, Josh Knightrider from Bavarian Beer House, who used to work in the wine industry in Germany and enjoys beer culture even more, was telling us that Hofbrauhaus, yes, is a must-go-to, but also the Augustiner, if I'm going to say it right, Augustiner Brau, which is Munich's oldest brewery, founded in 1328, that he said that is the place that you don't want to miss because they still pour beer straight from wooden barrels. So not even provoked, he automatically suggested two of the places that we are going to go to in Munich with Steve Bertrand Travel. Sandy at WTMJ.com is the best way to get me directly. I can send you a brochure, SANDY at WTMJ.com. We also have it posted on our website. I am so excited about this, especially after just talking with Josh Knightrider and brewmaster Jacob Sutnick from Bavarian Beer House, because they are breathing this wonderful Bavarian culture, and they are so passionate about it that they're bringing that culture here so that it feels like Munich all year round. But they said it's not the same as drinking the beer there. So picture drinking golden beer out of big steins, historic charm, and right in the heart of Bavaria in Munich. And I love that we're starting there. It's a charming town. I was there 10 years ago on a solo gal pal trip Not a gal pal. It was just me, but on a solo trip, and I connected with a friend of a friend named Rolf, and we just had a great time strolling and tasting. And this is really where you're going to taste Munich beer at its purest, because in 1516 is when the beer purity law came into effect, and they still roll with that. Water, barley, and hops. Like, they make it as simple as possible. And Hofbrauhaus, which you've heard about, it's legendary. That got started in 1589, and it was founded by a Duke Wilhelm V, because he was tired of importing beer from other regions. So we're just going to have it here at the beer hall. And Mozart's been there. It's your turn. So come join me at Augustiner Brau, which is a beer made by monks, where you drink from the wooden barrels. And there's the Oktoberfest Museum and a 300-year-old townhouse. And you don't have to just taste the beer. You don't have to drink a huge stein every single day of this trip. September 12th through the 22nd, we are starting in Munich. We will also go to Salzburg and Vienna in Austria, and we'll wrap up in Prague in the Czech Republic. So one trip, you check off 3 countries, and you make friends, you make travel memories, and, think how communal big beer halls are. You sit at a nice long table, you talk, you laugh, you hear that great music, horns and oompas, and you get to shout Prost. It'll be a really good time. Go on this adventure and escape with me. The European Brewery Tour with me, Sandy Maxx, September 12th through the 22nd with Steve Bertrand Travel. Any questions you have, I can answer those. They just pop me a note, sandy@WTMJ.com. That's SANDY@WTMJ.com. Let's travel together, make that escape, and get those memories. SANDY@WTMJ.com. Stay with me on What's on Tap, because music fans, there is a collectible from Miller High Life that you are not going to believe. So stay with me here on What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
Well, all right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitschke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we believe in making the most of what you love, making sure your money is as well spent as your time. So as you start your spring projects, we have the value you need to make them your own. Right now, rewards members get a free $10 gift card with an $80 estate fertilizer purchase. 7-pound bags of Blaine's brand Cardinal Songbird food, 2 for $12. Plus, select Diamond Crystal softener salt, $7.50 for rewards members. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
You're liable to hear the French say they know a thing or two about champagne. Well, if Francois knows so much about champagne, how come he never figured out how to put it in cans? Happy New Year from the champagne of beers. Here's wishing you and yours a happy and prosperous high life.
And a happy and prosperous National Beer Day. Remember those Miller High Life commercials? They were just kind of matter of fact, and that was embodied a whole kind of common sense ethos. Well, now we've got fun from Miller High Life. Basically, every year they come up with some interesting collectible for you. Last year, it was Dive Barfume. So perfume that probably didn't smell that great, might have smelled a little stale, but they sell out immediately. And just today, they're staying on the dive bar theme with dive bar sounds. But here's the deal. I am a huge music fan. If you even remotely know me, you know that. I am also a record collector. So I have a record rack. You know, like when you go to a record store and the racks, you can flip through the albums. Like I assembled those during a Packers game once, and now I can have all my records and I can flip through them and look at them like I'm at a record store. It makes me very happy. Instead of putting them sideways, you know, where the spine is all frayed and you can't always see what the album is. So like downstairs in my basement, it's almost like a little record store. It makes me very happy. And I love colored vinyl, which is just kind of silly. It's a gimmick like, oh, look, it's one of my favorite albums and it's on pink vinyl. So I know myself, I get very excited about these things. Miller High Life's launching Dive Bar Sounds, the first ever vinyl record that has beer infused. So picture this. It is a clear vinyl album that has beer inside it. Now, I don't have one in my hands just yet. I have actually reached out to the fine folks at Miller High Life so I can maybe get one to actually show you. But producer Brian Kelly's with me. Brian, you have a video, correct?
Yeah, I'm playing it right now.
Perfect. If you text the word watch, WATCH, to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Text the word watch to 855-616-1620. And it kind of looks amber colored when you lay it on the turntable because the beer spreads out. And I would assume due to physics, it might spread out towards the edges for the G-force. I don't.
Yeah, it's not even. But it kind of moves unevenly. But
it's liquid.
But it's liquid. It's definitely. It has to be a thick record.
Well, and you don't want
the record has to be thick.
But you don't ever want to break a record anyway. So you know, have a beer while you're watching it. Don't break the record to try and sip it.
I wouldn't recommend trying to sip the record in at all.
But so now you're asking, okay, Sandy, I know that there's now beer in the record. Maybe I need to see it. Again, it's on the WTMJ YouTube live stream, or you can text the word watch to the Siding Unlimited, WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. But it has music on it that is beer themed. There are 8 tracks, so I'm assuming like 4 on each side. And Brian, you've heard them. Welcome to the Dive, an upbeat rhythm built from the percussive sounds of pool balls with subtle notes of the classic High Life jingle from old commercials woven throughout, capturing the energy of game night at your favorite bar.
Yeah, they kind of, it does have a feel to it, for sure.
Do you want to play me a little Welcome to the Dive?
This one is called Champagne Nights.
Oh, do you have Welcome to the Dive? That was the one I just... It's okay if you don't. Let's go with Champagne Nights. An ambient sound led by the signature hiss of the champagne of beers being opened and the effervescent dance of bubbles rising to the top. I could chill on the couch, drinking the champagne of beers, listening to Champagne Nights. There's also Regulars Remix, a laid-back track where the familiar murmur of regulars and clinking High Life bottles create the soundtrack to a perfect night at the bar. And then Last Call... Oh, is this Regulars Remix?
Yeah, this is the regular. Here's the thing: is that Regular's remix has like 3 or 4 songs in it. There's actually two or three different.
I can hear if you got the time.
Oh, for sure. But then they switch it up a little bit.
You got to keep you entertained. There's also Last Call Symphony, a lo-fi melody featuring the hum of High Life neon signs and closing time bell that makes you feel like your final waltz out of the dive bar. So you can say a lot of things about that. This is a thoughtful collectible for music fans who like to cling on all these little nuances.
All right,
is this last call?
Break. Don't forget to.
This is the last call, yeah.
Ooh. So here's the deal. They're thinking, because Record Store Day is coming this weekend. So I like that they've dovetailed into this. So starting April 10th, which, if I'm doing my math correctly, April 10th is Thursday at 11 a.m., you can pre-order Dive Bar Sounds, the vinyl record made with the champagne of beers, at millerhighlife.com/divebarsounds. Now, you know this is going to be while supplies last. A limited quantity is available for pre-order on Thursday and Friday, and also next Tuesday and Wednesday. So April 10th, 11th, 15th, and 16th. It could be your reward for getting your taxes filed. You're also asking, how much is it going to set me back? This first of its kind vinyl record that has beer inside of it. $18. The price of a 24-pack of High Life.
That's not bad at all.
Not at all. I've gone shopping at some of the big box stores where now vinyl records are on sale in the audio department, and to get a record for $18 is a good deal.
And they nailed the marketing on this. The video, the everything sounds, looks, it all works together, and it is exactly the High Life.
Yeah, because your label in the middle that's rotating on the turntable is a Miller High Life logo. Yeah, this is the champagne of vinyl. I'm impressed. Well done, Miller High Life. So we'll keep you posted if I can get my hands on one. Maybe you can come visit me at the radio station and touch it and look at it. And come on, handle. It's cute. That's what I love about vinyl. It's a tangible audio experience. You know, you can see it, you can hear it, and you have to get up every 20 minutes and flip the album over. You have to interact with your music, not just click it and let it go. So the soundtrack to High Life. For music fans everywhere, the collectible vinyl, millerhighlife.com. You can get all the details, and certainly let me know if you are able to pre-order one before they sell out, because I'll come over to your house. I'll bring the High Life if you let me spin your record album. Next, speaking of music, a song that tells the story about Milwaukee and beer that is not on this vinyl album, and it's a cautionary tale. That's the song you need to hear. Next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Hey, March Madness is here. Now, technically, I can't say March Madness, but I can say this. Our coverage of the tournament will be fantastic. Hey, it's Greg Matzik. Keep it tuned to WTMJ for all the updates you need on the tournament. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. During every sports update, you'll know about every buzzer beater, every upset, the Cinderella stories, and how the state teams are doing throughout the entire tournament. It's the college basketball tournament, not March Madness. Update sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
A suicide on a team is devastating and a real risk for veterans. If you or someone you know is struggling, taking action for mental health is a brave step. Reach out now at reachoutwis.org for local resources available to you and your loved ones.
Paid for by Advancing a Healthier Wisconsin Endowment with support by the Medical College of Wisconsin, the War Memorial Center, and reachoutwis.org.
Family owned and operated. Yep, we sure are. Since 1970. And I know you've probably heard it a million times. But the words family owned and operated hold a lot of water. They mean you can count on dealing with an expert. Because when your dad runs the show, he teaches you all that he knows. They mean prompt service. Because it's not just our job, it's a big part of our life. They mean you're actually working with someone who has accountability and a real interest in your satisfaction and their business's overall success. So when you hear businesses say the words family-owned and operated, give them a try, because small business owners like us really do have your best interest in mind. And when you need advice from Southeastern Wisconsin's foremost glass experts, call me. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ. And now, feast your ears. This is the song you need to hear.
Most blokes are going to be playing at 10. These go to 11.
Happy National Beer Day. You know I had to find the right song to play tonight, and it's a song written by a country music man named Glenn Sutton. And the song's about a story of a man whose excessive drinking leads to the loss of his lover. And Glenn Sutton was inspired to write the song. He saw a Schlitz beer advertisement with a very famous slogan that you will find familiar. It was actually Jerry Lee Lewis who recorded it. And the funny thing is Glenn Sutton was writing for Jerry Lee Lewis, and he had to get it written overnight because he was about to get into a recording session. So he got inspired by the Schlitz beer advertisement, and it turns out Jerry Lee Lewis had pretty good success with it. It was number 2 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart in the 60s. But then Rod Stewart latched onto it and recorded it in 1972, had a hit song in the UK. It's called What's Made Milwaukee Famous Has Made a Loser Out of Me. Happy National Beer Day. Here's Rod Stewart with the song you need to hear on What's on Tap.
What
channeling the countryside on what made Milwaukee famous, made a loser out of me. Happy National Beer Day. I'm Sandy Maxx on What's on Tap, welcoming Hans Weisgerber III to help us continue to celebrate National Beer Day on What's on Tap.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Jake suffered with carpal tunnel syndrome.
Tingling numbness in my hands and fingers, not sleeping well at night, tossing and turning, trying to manage with pain pills and stretching, and it just wasn't helping.
He didn't want the traditional invasive carpal tunnel surgery.
I had seen people with bandages and scars and clubs for hands. I just don't have time to be incapable of doing things for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks.
Then he learned about the Ovation Hand Institute and the Ovation Technique, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office.
I wanted to get it looked at sooner than later. So I had the virtual consult. It was very thorough as far as like I was sitting in a doctor's office. I was booked for the procedure 2 weeks later, had my right hand done. Very quick procedure. It was really great. That very night when I went home, it was the first time in probably 3 months my hand did not wake me up.
Book an appointment with the Ovation Hand Institute and find out if you're a candidate for the Ovation Technique.
Probably the most surprising thing was how quickly I was able to do things again. I'm cooking dinner, I'm doing yard work and all that kind of stuff the next day.
Visit ovationhand.com. ovationhand.com.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Hey, boaters!
Now, I wasn't eavesdropping. I just happened to overhear him talking about us. He said if you know what you're looking for, just rummage around. You'll find it. And it's true, because we stock more boat parts and accessories than anyone. Even those oddball parts you thought you'd never find. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters!
Truly the best supplier around for all of our boating needs. This place is magic. I call it my candy store for boating parts. This is Dave Doro from Kendor Marine. And yeah, I said it, but these are the actual words of our satisfied and loyal customers. Boaters in the know exactly where to go, and there's a reason. We've got it all for our boater buddies. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. You can't beat Berghardt.
New Berlin and Fox Point.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 7 o'clock, it's 34 degrees. Tonight, isolated snow showers early, then clear skies. Breezy and cold, a low of 23. Tuesday, sunny but chilly, a high of 40. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. Chief Justice John Roberts issuing a stay that keeps a man in El Salvador's anti-terror prison for now. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
It's a straightforward directive from the Chief Justice, pausing the order of Maryland-based District Court Judge Paula Sinas, who had set a midnight deadline for the man's return. Having been granted protection in 2019, Kilmar Abrego Garcia was not supposed to be deported to his native country, and the government says his removal last month was a mistake. But the administration also claims Abrego Garcia was an MS-13 member, and it argues that now that he's back in El Salvador, there's nothing the American courts can do about it.
The man's family says he fled that country years ago to escape gang violence. U.S. markets continue a downward trend as investors worry about the implications of President Trump's global tariffs.
Trump's plan could have a negative impact on small businesses in Milwaukee.
I've talked to over 50 CEOs in the last 4 days. Almost all of them are very, very, very concerned, fearful that we're in a recession, going into recession.
President of the MMAC, Dale Koinga, sees a decrease in consumer spending on the horizon.
This is $600 billion in new taxes. This is the largest U.S. tax increase in U.S. history. And that is paid for by consumers, which will hurt discretionary spending, which will hurt those small businesses.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Heading to prison for abusing 2 children barricaded in a Milwaukee home. 40-year-old Joel Mankey of Milwaukee will serve 10 years after his girlfriend's 7-year-old and 9-year-old sons were found wandering the streets naked and bruised in 2023. Mankey pled guilty to 2 counts of chronic child neglect and 2 counts of false imprisonment. Despite not being the boys' biological father, a judge said he could have improved their home life and protected them. The boys' mother, Kitty Cock, is serving 10 years in prison for the same charges. Requesting a recount in Madison. Candidate for the 19th Aldermanic District, Anthony Nino Amato is requesting the recount after losing the spring election by less than 1% of the vote. Just 9 votes separated him from incumbent Alderman John Uger to run the district on Madison's west side. The recount will start Thursday morning. Fear not if you see flames coming from Lakeshore State Park in Milwaukee on Tuesday. It's all part of a prescribed burn at the park being run by the Department of Natural Resources. The burn will begin around 10 a.m. It's expected to last for about 5 hours, depending on weather conditions. The DNR says the park will be closed for the duration of the burn. A WTMJ exclusive. The Brewers are out with new details about Bob Uecker's celebration of life. It'll take place before and during the game on Sunday, August 24th. The day will start with an extensive ceremony.
It's going to be a very memorable, moving ceremony with some laughter, with some poignant moments.
And including plenty of celebrity guests, emceed by Bob Costas.
Videos that the fans have never seen before from Bob's family's private video library.
Brewers president of business operations Rick Schlesinger tells Wisconsin's Morning News the game itself will also include plenty of Uecker.
Even the baseballs and the bases will have special Bob Uecker identification on them.
And a commemorative Mr. Baseball pin for every fan. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
For more information, text the word Bob to our WTMJ Siding Unlimited talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:04.
Celebrate 70 years of thrills at Road America this spring and summer. Experience unforgettable moments on their legendary 4-mile track. From the Spring Vintage Weekend, May 16th through the 18th, to the adrenaline-packed Moto America Superbikes and Vintage Moto Fest, May 30th through June 1st. There's excitement for everyone. Join us for the iconic IndyCar XPEL Grand Prix presented by AMR, June 19th through the 22nd. Get more confidence on the roads with motorcycle and driving schools or tackle the off-road experience. Visit roadamerica.com for tickets and details. Road America, 70 years of fast family fun.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
You'll find that the licensed and certified electricians from Quality are top-notch. We've been around for over 60 years, so expect nothing but the best. And here's the kicker. With over 60 vehicles out there on the roads, you're not going to have to wait very long at all for the electrical service you need now. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For all your residential electrical needs, call Quality.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field so we can respond ultra quickly to your emergency AC needs. When you call Quality for emergency AC service, you can count on a swift response to get the job done right away. So if the heat's got you to the point where it's just too hot to handle, call Quality and we'll get you the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Brewers are off today after beating the Reds 8-2 on Sunday. Next up, they play the Rockies tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7:05 right here on WTMJ. The Bucks begin the day in the 5th place in the Eastern Conference playoff race with 4 regular season games to play. Tomorrow they'll face off against the Minnesota Timberwolves. College basketball will crown a national champion tonight as top seeds Houston and Florida take the floor in San Antonio. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Mostly clear on the roads this evening. We might have a left lane blocked on 43 northbound at Michigan Street. It looks like some debris there. Again, that's the left lane. And taking a look at the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, isolated snow showers early, then mainly clear skies, breezy and cold, a low of 23. On Tuesday, sunny skies, but chilly, a high of 40. Wednesday, cloudy with rain and snow, likely, a high of 40. On Thursday, rain and snow early. We could see some accumulation of snow, a high of 37. On Friday, mostly sunny skies, a high of 43. Right now in Madison, it's 35 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 31. In Waukesha, it's 34. And in Milwaukee, it's 34 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:07.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Maxx.
Happy National Beer Day. Yes, it is a thing on April 7th every year. And when you live in Milwaukee and you enjoy being a Wisconsinite, why not celebrate National Beer Day as the official holiday? And, beer is such a part of our culture here in Wisconsin. The brewing in particular, not just the raising of the glass, but actually the making of the beer and the beer bringing people together. And it is absolutely my pleasure to welcome to the WTMJ studio, Hans Weisgerber III. Am I even saying it correctly, Hans?
That sounds perfect. And I just want to say, ein Prosit.
Yes. See, now it's official. You're bringing in the Gemütlichkeit. Hans, your family has been part of Wisconsin, obviously, for 3 generations. If you're Hans Weisgerber III, but people would recognize you from Old German Beer Hall, where you are the owner there, and also Esterbrook Beer Garden, where you've been operating that wonderful gathering space. So what has been your journey with brewing here in Wisconsin?
Well, I grew up in the restaurant business, and of course, we were always selling beer. And so my family was always in the fine dining business, and I had a pretty formal upbringing in that industry. That was an era of fine dining where, I was a busboy wearing a bow tie, and then became a bartender wearing a tie and a vest, and then became a maitre d' wearing a suit and a tie. And all through all of that, we had our German heritage, but in 1997, a guy named Fred Schumacher came to call on us, and he was bringing Hofbrau Munich beer back to the United States for the first time since World War II. The brand Hofbrau, the beer brand that I'm affiliated with, that the Beer Hall is affiliated with, and that we feature at the Beer Garden, is actually the state-owned brewery of Bavaria, formerly the King of Bavaria's brewery, with over 400 years of brewing tradition there.
So that's some high quality.
It is, and and there's a lot of culture involved with it. The most famous beer hall in the world is undeniably the Hofbrauhaus of Munich. That's our flagship beer hall in Munich. And then the most famous festival in the world is Oktoberfest, and both of those are elements of Hofbrau because they were things that the King of Bavaria and that the Bavarian royal family created. So when Fred Schumacher was bringing this brand back to the United States, at that point in my life, I was in my 20s, and I had been to Munich as a teenager and numerous times. But when I was there when I was 14, I had a beer at the Hofbrauhaus with my dad, and it was like one of the magical experiences of my life, having a liter of beer there. So to meet this guy who was bringing this brand back, and we were going to have the opportunity to sell it in the Weisgerber restaurants at that time, it was pretty amazing to me. It was like, we're doing this, right? We're going to sell this. Like, I was sitting there with my dad. I'm like, we're going to do this. Like, we got to do it. But I also developed a personal relationship with Fred. And as time went on, and as he was building the brand, he brought me in as a consultant. And so that started to galvanize my relationship with Hofbrau and being part of this, legacy, storied beer brand. It was one of the best known in the world, and being part of it. And for me, that's really been my I guess, pathway into the world of brewing.
And such a German history here in this part of Wisconsin, part of the United States. So many German immigrants coming here, for you to be able to bring that flavor back to people who must have missed it.
Well, that was the
and
idea.
Remembered it fondly or had heard so much about it, they finally get to try it here.
That was the idea when we started Old German Beer Hall. I felt like growing up here in Milwaukee, I heard about all the things that used to be here in Milwaukee, and a lot of the Germans do a really great job, by the way, as immigrants, of assimilating into society. They become Americans, and a lot of our roots went away. We do have some great German clubs here in Milwaukee that keep things alive, but kind of in the public sphere, a lot of the German restaurants were going away, and one thing that was really gone was beer halls. And beer halls really went away in Milwaukee already back in Prohibition. A lot of them went away. They just weren't sustained.
We couldn't gather.
That.
Yeah.
Beer gardens went away. Beer halls went away. But it's a culture that still existed in Munich, still exists in Munich today. And I kept seeing this when I was there. And I'm like, why don't we bring this back to Milwaukee again and get this going in Milwaukee again? And that's where the idea for Old German Beer Hall came to be. And then 8 years later, that's how Estabrook Beer Garden came to be.
And you really are gathering people together in that friendship and camaraderie. And it's a good vibe when you walk into Old German Beer Hall. It just is. It's that old world feeling with the wood and just the steins and there's space in the back by the little stage. Okay, I'm just going to sit here at this wooden table. Hi, how are you? It does accomplish that feeling.
And I think that the atmosphere, as the elements you pointed out, but it's the people too. And I think that feeling you're getting is actually the embodiment of Gemütlichkeit. That is what it is. It's this feeling of belonging and coziness, and you enter as strangers and leave as friends.
And you get a good currywurst at Old German Beer Hall. One of my favorite things to eat there. Hans Weisgerber III is my guest on National Beer Day here on What's on Tap, and we will chat about one of your newest brews that you are bringing to Milwaukee with Hofbrauhaus and collaborating with other brewers here in the city. So we'll talk about Brow Buddies next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Save big money on everything now at Menards. For all your outdoor storage needs, Aero Storage Products has you covered with metal sheds that come pre-cut and pre-drilled for quick and easy assembly. Made with galvanized steel to offer lasting protection and look good for years to come. Plus, don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey there, Sandy Maxx at WTMJ, and happy National Beer Day to you. And one way to celebrate is to treat yourself to a trip, to a 10-day beer and brewery tour with me through Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic with Steve Bertrand Travel. I'm really looking forward to this. September 12th through the 22nd, we are going to start in Munich, exploring the city's iconic beer culture, visiting legendary beer halls like Hofbrauhaus that you've heard Hans talking about, and we're going to enjoy private brewery tours as well. We'll also fit in some of the landmarks, the stunning Neuschwanstein Castle, known for its fairy tale beauty. In Salzburg, we will visit some of Austria's oldest breweries, including Stiegl and Augustinerbrau Klostermulm. Discover Vienna's rich history and vibrant craft beer scene. And we're going to end the tour in Prague, wandering through picturesque streets and visiting the famous Budweiser Budvar Brewery. A perfect blend of culture, history, and Europe's finest brews. Limited spots available. Don't miss out. Come join me on this beer and brewery tour through Europe. Email me, sandy@WTMJ.com to learn more. That's SANDY at WTMJ.com.
The deeper the hole, the more damage you're going to cause, especially if you're driving around with low tire pressure.
We're talking about potholes, and if you're not careful, they'll spring up out of nowhere and bite you right in the keister.
We've fixed broken ball joints, broken control arms, blown struts, damaged wheel alignments.
You name it, we fixed it. That wheel alignment is an adjustment of your suspension, which is a system that connects your car to its wheels.
And when your alignment's off, you get uneven, premature tire wear, and we have a fix for that too.
If a pothole has bitten you where it hurts, come to Richlands for a professional evaluation by one of our ASE ASE certified technicians.
And at the very least, we'll make sure you have the right amount of air pressure in your tires.
And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns, your
Due for service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
Happy National Beer Day. It is an official occasion when, after Prohibition, President FDR signed it back in. We could all drink beer at 3.2%. But it was a reason for a lot of people to celebrate because you truly couldn't drink beer, at least not in public. And so I can't imagine Prohibition lasting 10 years. Especially with our first world problems, I think a lot of people's heads would explode. But now we can actually enjoy beer, and it's part of our culture here in Wisconsin and around the world. And I am so delighted that Hans Weisgerber III is in the studio with me. And Hans, can you just take me through, I keep talking about German tradition. Did your father come here or your grandfather come here?
My father came here to the United States when he was 14 with his parents and his brother. So they were immigrants from Germany. Previously, during World War II, they were refugees from Croatia. My family are ethnic Germans, or Donauschwaben is what we're called. We're a group of ethnic Germans who lived in the Slavic nations of the Austro-Hungarian Empire for 400 years. And then at the end of World War II, we were kicked out because people were tired of the Germans at that point. So my family made their way back to Germany and reestablished themselves there in Offenburg, which is in the Black Forest, and they had achieved a nice, comfortable, middle class existence in Germany. And my grandparents decided that they still wanted something more, and the place to get something more and to have more opportunity was the United States. And so they applied for citizenship in the United States, and they got some sponsors from some family members who are already here, and they came here to Milwaukee. And so my dad came here at 14, couldn't speak any English. My uncle as well, he spoke a little bit more, but they came here and made a new life for themselves.
Well, and the Weisgerbers, certainly in Wisconsin, known for excellent hospitality. They really applied themselves and made an impact in our area with cuisine and culture. There are a lot of people, I think, who think of, as soon as you hear Weisgerber, what do you think people think of?
I hope they think of great food, hospitality, wine, and beer, and good times. And that tradition with the Weisgerber restaurants, that carries on today with my sister Lisa. She owns the Golden Mast out on Okauchee Lake. That's really the last Weisgerber restaurant. It was the first, and it's the last one that's still out there. And she's doing a great job out there. If you get a chance, stop out and just experience how beautiful Okauchee Lake is and the grounds there. It's like going to a park. There's a marina. They have boats you can rent. You can go on boat cruises. Beautiful venue for weddings and parties and celebrations. Excellent Sunday brunch, fish fry. It really is one of the unique places to dine and entertain in Wisconsin.
I think you're right. I think a lot of people remember it fondly. And if there's some people hearing it right now going, oh, I haven't been there in a minute. Time to go back.
Indeed. And summer is really the time to be there.
And visit you at Old German Beer Hall or Estabrook Park. When does Estabrook Beer Garden open?
So we are on track. We've actually opened for a day 2 weeks ago
when
on
that
Friday,
warm weather
it was
came?
70. We just got the water turned on, and we were there cleaning, and we had everything cleaned up enough that we could start serving some beer. So we did. We had a pretty nice afternoon of pouring beer for people, and then we got back down to the business of getting the grounds ready. And by this weekend, we should have fairly regular hours, but the grand opening for the season will be May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We have 3 days of what we call our My Fest weekend or Mayfest weekend. We'll have a variety of entertainment, and we'll have a keg tapping every day. Friday, it'll be the Hofbrau Maibach. Saturday, it'll be the Brau Buddies, which we can talk about some more.
Yes.
And on Sunday, it will be Third Space Maibach. So we got local and German beers being featured there, because that's what we like to do. We like to bring together the German tradition and the local character.
I love that you said that, Hans. that it is good. I love that it's a community here, and that the craft beers can coexist with the international beers, and that all the brew culture get along and know each other and see this as a scene to elevate instead of being, competitors. And I love that. And you just mentioned Third Space, but you have Brow Buddies now, complete with an umlaut and everything. Tell us about Brow Buddies, just unveiled last week.
Brow Buddies is a collaboration between Hofbrau and Lakefront Brewing right here in Milwaukee. And the brewmaster, Luther from Lakefront, went to Munich, Germany last year, and he spent about a week with the brewers at Hofbrau at the brewery, and together they collaborated on a recipe. They went through the malts, through the hops, through everything that was going to be involved and how the beer was going to be done, and they made a Munich-style lager. They came up with a recipe, and they brought the recipe back here, and this beer is brewed here in Milwaukee at Lakefront over on Commerce Street, and it's brewed using both German and American hops and malts. And it is an excellent, lighter-bodied, but still full of character. And the malts in this beer are just so unique and so good. You have to try it. We did launch it last week, Friday, at the Old German Beer Hall. Both Russ and Jim Klisch were there. Steve Psyche, the CEO of Hofbrau House of America, was there, and the whole city came out. I mean, it was a great party. We tapped a wooden keg of it. We gave away samples, and people stayed and partied the night away, as good Brow Buddies should.
I was just going to say, where did the name Brow Buddies come from? This relationship there?
I think it was the idea of something you just touched upon, that, while there certainly is competition in the beer industry, there's a lot more camaraderie and collaboration in the beer industry. I think it's a great opportunity for two unique breweries, one that's 400 years of tradition, and another that has really galvanized itself as one of the finest craft brewers in Milwaukee. And also, Lakefront has a great international presence. They're selling beer in Ukraine. They're supporting the cause there. They've done a great job. They make really good quality classic beers. They make some unique beers too, but they're really good brewers.
Gosh, and they've been I feel like they are a landmark now.
I would say that
Right
they
there on
are.
the
And
river.
I have to say, we were doing some PR photos for this leading up to the launch, and I was at Lakefront with Russ Klisch, and this is kind of brought it home for me. He said, I never would have thought that when I started this with my brother and we were brewing beer in a garage, that I would be brewing a beer in collaboration with the Hofbrau House of Munich. And it was a really poignant, proud moment that I was like, wow, that's a pretty amazing journey. As my own journey with Hofbrau has been, I didn't ever think I would be working with, one of the most famous breweries in the world, and being able to represent their brand and bring it to my hometown and then take it beyond other places in the United States. So it's really cool to have this connection to Milwaukee with Hofbrau.
Truly world class. I love that connection. Where can we get Brow Buddies?
It is, what's great about this, it's on tap now at the Old German Beer Hall. It's at Lakefront. It's over at Kegel's in West Allis. As far as liquor stores go, it's in liquor stores from northern Illinois up through the middle of the state. So it's really well distributed around the Midwest. So you should be able to find it on shelves. You can't miss it. It's got this blue and white Bavarian flag type label with both the Hofbrau and the Lakefront logos on it. It's a really cool looking can, and the beer inside's even better.
Always good to have the eye-catching blue and white checkered flag. That
Indeed.
automatically means, aha, Hofbrau. That's going to be Bavarian. Yes. It's going to be delicious. I want to ask you, switching from Brau to Box, tell me about Bach Beer Fest.
So Bach Beer Fest is coming up on April 26th. It's the longest running spring beer festival in Greater Milwaukee. We are moving back to Wauwatosa. The festival left there 4 years ago, and now the Milner Building in Hart Park has been completely restored. It's a beautiful historic building. I
say Bach Beer Fest has been going on for a minute.
It has. It is. Bach Beer Fest is actually not our event. We are a partner in it, and it belongs to the Spielmannszug Milwaukee Drum and Bugle Corps, one of the great German clubs of Milwaukee. This is one of their big fundraisers. They have been having this event for over 40 years, and it really is a traditional MyFest Springfest. We've got great entertainment with the Alta Kameraden Band, with Alpine Blast. We've got dancers doing the Mai Tanz, or the May Dance, which is where they dance around a pole and they intricately weave these ribbons as they twirl around. There's not a lot of places you can see this stuff. This is where you can see it.
And this is wonderful German culture, like we've been talking about, being able to see these traditions. And yeah, I don't think I should do the Mai Dance. I'm pretty sure I would get tangled up in that.
You can certainly get tangled up and
but
fall
I would
down.
watch. I would definitely watch. That's Saturday, April 26th. And I also see at Hart Park the crowning of the Bach Beer King and Queen. Can I be a queen?
You can if you can drink some beer.
How do you become?
Well, it is a beer drinking contest. There are a couple rounds of it. They line up a group of men and a group of women, and they drink a pint of beer. Let's see who can drink a pint of beer the fastest, and then it's an elimination. Then an hour. This doesn't happen back to back. An hour or so later, there's another round, and they go through until they have the fastest of the bunch, and the man and the woman are the king and the queen. So that's one of the contests. We also have the Maßkrugstemmen, the Stein holding contest is one of the other contests where we see who can hold out a liter of beer with their arm extended straight out.
You have time to practice it for a couple of weeks.
Indeed, and this is a qualifying event for the national championships. We keep score of these times throughout the year. Whoever has the best time, one man, one woman, can win a trip to New York City for Central Park Oktoberfest.
Oh, my gosh.
You ride on a parade float down Fifth Avenue into Central Park as part of this event, and then you get to compete in the national championships. We have had a woman from Wisconsin win the national championships. We have not had a man do it yet, though.
Oh, the gauntlet's been thrown down. So BachBeerFest.org is where you can find out about Saturday, April 26th at Hart Park. That sounds like so much fun.
It's going to be great.
Hans Weisgerber III, thank you so much for all that you do to be the host with the most at Old German Beer Hall and Esterbrook Beer Garden, but also for really doing so much to preserve brewing culture from Germany and blending it here with our local brews and just making it a fun place to be.
It's truly a pleasure. I'm Prosit Milwaukee. Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you so very much, Hans Weisgerber III, on National Beer Day. And stay with us because we have more to share with you about the traveling beer garden schedule that was just released earlier this week and more. So stay with us. And right now we go to the WTMJ Breaking News Center. Here is Jessica Gatzo.
Thanks, Sandy. A Whitefish Bay preschool teaching assistant has been arrested for possession of child pornography. The suspect was immediately suspended without pay from their job at Ganamie Early Childhood Education. Police say this person passed a background check in 2021. The school noted that the teaching assistant did not create any child pornography. No photos or images of children or staff in the program were found. The identity of the suspect has not been released. Felony charges for family members in the death of a child on Milwaukee's North Side. 21-year-old Quintel Collins faces second-degree reckless homicide and neglect charges in the death of his 6-year-old nephew. The child's mother, 26-year-old Daquela Collins, is charged with neglecting a child leading to death. Police say the child died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The child's mother and uncle are due back in court April 15th. Amtrak service through Wisconsin is back on track after the discovery of corroded rail cars caused service disruptions last week. Both the Borealis and Hiawatha lines are back to running on their normal schedules, though both are operating with a limited number of cars. Lines were running at times with bus substitutions once the corrosion was detected on the Amtrak's Horizon rail cars. Amtrak says customers should book early to guarantee a spot on their train. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. All clear on the roads, no incidents, no delays. And time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, isolated snow showers early, then mainly clear skies, breezy and cold, a high low of 23. On Tuesday, sunny skies, but chilly, a high of 40. Wednesday, cloudy with rain and snow likely towards the afternoon and evening, a high of 40. On Thursday, rain and snow early. We could see some accumulation of snow, a high of 37. On Friday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 43. Right now in Madison, it's 35 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 30. In Waukesha, it's 33. And in Milwaukee, it's 34 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:31.
Hey, John Burke here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care, and they do it every day with compassion and with empathy. They've got locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I've been to the locations. I love how they treat the people who live there. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They offer early memory loss classes. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. Kindness at the core. It's Azura Living. Check them out at azuraliving.com. It's Azura.
Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-810-3588. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-810-3588. 800-810-3588. 800-810-3588.
As a fellow veteran, we understand what it means to serve on a team. A suicide on a team is devastating and a real risk for veterans. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out now. Reach out WIS.org for local resources available to you and your loved ones.
Paid for by Advancing a Healthier Wisconsin Endowment with support by the Medical College of Wisconsin, the War Memorial Center, and reachoutwis.org.
What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx is back on WTMJ.
In heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it here. And when we're gone from here, well, our friends will be drinking all the beer. Everybody sing! In heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it here.
Are you singing along? It is National Beer Day, so I wish you a happy National Beer Day. And I will tell you that Brian Kelly, he's like, this is the song I want to play. I'm like, yes, but is it a joke? That sounds terrible. In heaven, there is no beer. That just doesn't sound right. And he's like, you've not heard people sing along to this? It's a rowdy beer drinking song. It's like, I'm not mad at it. I just feel like I don't know that I like the message.
It becomes too existential after a while. Once you're like, all these things I really like, I can't do if I want to go to heaven somehow.
Maybe
that's
too
much.
I was like, maybe that's the moral of the story. But so in heaven, there is no beer. I hope you were singing along to that. A fine choice by producer Brian Kelly, who always a joy. I like that when you choose the right music, maestro. And we've been talking about Happy National Beer Day. If you've missed any of the conversations and even some of the breaking news about a new summer brew this summer with Bavarian Beer House and Weistoffen, you can catch up on that and also catch up on some of the fun announcements about Brow Buddies with Hans Weisgerber III of Old German Beer Hall and Esterbrook Beer Garden. So it's been fun to celebrate something that really brings people together. And it is the beer culture, and especially from the Germanic tradition of beer halls and bringing people together. And it's going to be warm weather, and we love the annual Traveling Beer Garden, Milwaukee County Park's 12th year of this beloved tradition. They announced just last week, the beer garden schedule, and we've got it posted on WTMJ.com. Jessica Gatzo posted that as soon as it came out. I'll take you through it real quickly, though, so that way if you hear one of these parks in your neighborhood, you can go ahead and make your plans. So Beer Garden, the Traveling Beer Garden 2025, which if you don't know, Sprecher has their fire truck and they drive it around, and for maybe a week or two, you can go hang out in one of the parks and drink al fresco, and there's usually other nibbles like hot dogs, and Milwaukee Pretzel Company will have some of the pretzels there. And also, I remember going and, they've got games like bags, cornhole, so you can really just kind of chill out and have a nice time at one of our Milwaukee County parks. So, stop number 1, Wilson Park, May 14th through the 18th. Greenfield Park, May 21st through June 8th. Then the Traveling Beer Garden goes to Cooper Park, June 11th through the 22nd. That's a nice long stretch there. And then Grant Park, June 25th through July 6th. I know a lot of the people who play golf in Grant Park are going to be happy about that. So Grant Park, June 25th through July 6th. Then McCarty Park, July 9th through the 20th. And Lake Park, July 23rd through August 3rd. Then Doctors Park, August 6th through August 17th. And the Traveling Beer Garden 2025 wraps up in Sheridan Park, August 20th through September 1st. And if you missed any of those, again, it's posted at WTMJ.com, so you can see the article there. And Sprecher Craft Beer on tap in the fun little fire truck. And sometimes there'll be music there. Sometimes you'll just bump into a neighbor and a friend. Why not? We like to soak up the sun and enjoy the outdoors and take a sip while supporting Milwaukee County Parks. So Wilson Park, Greenfield Park, Cooper, Grant, McCarty, Lake, Doctors, and Sheridan, all on the 2025 Traveling Beer Garden. And we've been talking about German tradition in particular when we talk about local beers. How about a German composer? Brahms' Requiem is going to be performed this upcoming weekend with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. Here's some Brahms, and your chance to win free tickets is next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Outdoor Living Unlimited continues to build amazing backyard spaces. Imagine grilling on your new deck or entertaining friends on your outdoor kitchen. Adding a screen room is another way to enhance your space. Outdoor Living Unlimited provides ideas, custom designs, and installation of some of the area's finest projects. Stop by our showroom on Saturday, April 26th from 9 to 1 p.m. for our open house. See why Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Filet mignon isn't as cheap as chopped steak, and you can't buy a yacht for the same price as a dinghy. But while they last, you can buy high-end Beautyrest Black and Sealy Posturepedic mattresses for nowhere near high-end prices. Hasseless Mattress is clearing out a handful of premium floor models. These are the best of the best, and now you can get them for way less. Like a Beauty Rest Black LX Hybrid was $3,599, but now it's just $971. Or a Sealy Posturepedic Golden Acres Pillow Top was $1,093, but the floor model is just $546. Visit any employee-free, hassleless showroom and test your favorite floor model without salespeople breathing down your neck. You won't find these mattresses priced this low anywhere else. It's like buying a Lamborghini for 10 grand just because it sat on the showroom floor. Only a few floor models are available at each hassleless mattress location, and when they're gone for good. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hassleless.com.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Welcome back to What's on Tap. Sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. Sounds even more impressive when you have the music of Johannes Brahms behind it. Very entertaining and great performance lined up this weekend at the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. It will be Brahms' Ein Deutsches Requiem. Brahms Requiem. I don't speak German, you can tell. But it's going to be a wonderful experience inside Bradley Symphony Center, which is just this beautiful, renovated Art Deco decor. Just walking in there is gorgeous. And the sounds are going to be wonderful because Johannes Brahms, if you don't know, German composer and pianist of the Romantic period, wrote lots of symphonies, piano works, choral compositions, over 200 songs. And this Requiem is usually the Latin requiems focused on people who've gone on. This Brahms German Requiem is about offering solace to the living and emphasizing themes of comfort and hope. So it's going to be a very, I think, impactful musical experience. And Ken David Mazur, the music director, is going to be conducting, and that's pretty significant because he doesn't always conduct, and he's only with us for a limited time now, and he's really wonderful. So Ken David Mazur conducting the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra and Chorus, and the bass baritone who's going to be singing, Deshaun Burton, 3-time Grammy Award winner. He is going to do his part to bring this beautiful classical music to life. And another thing I love about the MSO is, you know, you're hearing me tell you, I'm like, oh, I hear that music in the background. That could be kind of cool, but I don't know. It's not really my thing. No, you are super welcome, because before the concerts, they have talks called Meet the Music. So you can get to know the music more, the compositions more, and it just enhances your concert-going experience. So the performances are this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra's Bradley Symphony Center, right on Wisconsin Avenue. And if you would like to go, make it a special evening, you can win free tickets. The Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620. 855-616-1620. 2 winners right now. If you are callers 7 and caller 8, you will get a free pair of tickets to Friday night's performance of Brahms' Requiem. Be surrounded by the sound. You and a guest. 855-616-1620. Let us set you up with free tickets to MSO's Brahms Requiem performance. 855-616-1620. Good luck.
So if you're already in a relationship with an auto service center, that's great. We hope things keep firing on all cylinders.
But if you're not in a relationship, why not book your next date with us at Richlands the next time you're due for service?
All of our locations are AAA approved and staffed by ASC certified technicians with PhDs in
We can fix anything!
Put that on top of the friendliest, hardest working staff you'll ever meet inside a tire and service center,
and you've got yourself a rock-solid date.
the next time you're due for factory scheduled maintenance,
Or tires, brakes, and suspension service.
book your date at richlawns.com.
Or just Google us. But remember, Richlands is spelled with 2 N's.
And oh yeah, be safe, buckle up, and hey,
Always make sure you have good tread on your tires. I'm Courtney Matchkey with Richlands, and you're due for a date.
clever.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
ride a bike at the nation's largest bike sale. I'm Amelia Kegel with Wheel and Sprocket, and our Bike Expo sale is back at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds this weekend inside the Expo building. Electric bikes, road bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, kid bikes, hybrid bikes, all on display and ready to ride. So whether you're seeking health and wellness, adventure and fun, or just a new hobby, the path to your new journey leads to the Bike Expo sale. And remember, all of our bikes come with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, which means you can ride it for 30 days. And if you don't love it, we'll refund your money.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it. Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike. Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5 inside the Expo Center. Visit bikeexposale.com for details. Admission is free.
Life is short. We'll see you at the Bike Expo.
This wasn't how Patrick here in Milwaukee pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
From sliding framed, semi-frameless, or frameless glass shower doors to heavy all-glass custom enclosures that can be built to fit any opening, at Less's Glass, we cover all the bases. But our biggest strength isn't only our selection. It's in our installation experience. We've been around nearly 40 years, and you only last that long if your installers leave the job the way your customers expect it to be left. Other places can sell you a glass shower enclosure, and some of those big guys may even be able to do it for a little cheaper. But the question you need to ask yourself is, will the job be done right? So remember, paying for quality only hurts once, but it does feel good when you get what you expect. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx is back on WTMJ.
So, you want to buy a house. You could go online, do your research, find the dream listing, go see it, and get catfished. Back to the drawing board. More scheduling, more viewings, more this doesn't even look like the photos. You could finally find one that does match the photos. Then comes the offer. Stress rush? Yep, make that 3. And here's the paperwork. Yep, never-ending paperwork. It's a lot. But you don't have to do it alone. Because there's an agent who's a realtor here to guide and help protect you as you find the home that's right for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
You are hearing some of Brahms' Requiem, which you can hear this weekend at the Bradley Symphony Center, performed by the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, conducted by music director Ken David Mazur. It's really going to be a special set of performances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the MSO. And I have congratulations to give. Congratulations to WTMJ fan George and also WTMJ fan Dwayne. Each of them have won a pair of tickets to Friday night's performance of Brahms' Requiem. And if you're disappointed because you're like, aw, I'd like to go, you have another chance to win tickets tomorrow and on Wednesday on What's on Tap to get your classical music fix. And I'm telling you, just to even walk into the Bradley Symphony Center is a beautiful experience, the Art Deco renovation inside, and then contrasted by the beautiful atrium that's all modern and windows out onto Wisconsin Avenue. It's a wonderful experience just to go into the Bradley Symphony Center, then sit there and be surrounded by the sounds of the MSO and also two vocalists, bass baritone Deshaun Burton and soprano Sonia Headlam. So MSO.org if your interest is piqued and you would like to go see Brahms Requiem. MSO.org and your chance to win tickets Tuesday and Wednesday here on What's on Tap.
In heaven there is no beer.
We've been talking about National Beer Day today. One of my favorite episodes of What's on Tap. I'm not going to lie. It's been fun to celebrate a beverage that has meant so much to our Wisconsin area. Even if you don't sip the beer, the brewing process the manufacturing process has meant so much to so many families who settled here and got started here, and it does bring people together. So National Beer Day has been a great reason to celebrate, and I will remind you of a few of the beer events to look forward to if you like getting together. This weekend is the Brewed and Tattooed Fest in Green Bay. I know everybody's been talking about the NFL draft. Well, before that, you got the Brewed and Tattooed Fest put on by Badger State Brewing. It's a blend of live tattooing, craft beer, music, and artistry at the Barrel House at Badger State Brewing. You can get free beer for a year if you're the first person who gets a Badger State Brewing tattoo, if that's for you. Otherwise, you can taste their exclusive beer release called Dark Tides, a special release black IPA. And they've got artwork on the can by Micah Gunderson of Northern Tide Tattoo. Sounds like a lot of fun. Plus, they've got local artists and makers at the pop-up vendor and food trucks. That is Saturday and Sunday at the Barrel House at Badger State Brewing. And didn't mention this one earlier. The 2025 Wisconsin and Beer Lovers Festival has been announced for Saturday, June 7th at the Old Heidelberg Park Festival Grounds at the Bavarian Beer House there in Glendale. And also, Bach Beer Fest returns to Wauwatosa at the end of this month. Hans Weisgerber III was here telling us about this fun event that is back in Tosa at Hart Park in the Mullner Building. August 26th, a Saturday that is going to be full of music and fun. The maypole dancing, where people dance with the ribbons and get intertwined, and also lots of music, and the Bach Beer and King and Queen contest and the Stein holding contest there. And also this weekend on the Bavarian Beer House grounds, this weekend is the Halfway to Oktoberfest celebration that has wonderful music, also has a Stein holding contest, and they will welcome you with a special Oktoberfest brew that they usually only keep on hand in the autumn, but there's a special brew for Halfway to Oktoberfest. So that's at Bavarian Beer House this weekend. And if you are just feeling the love for beer, remember, it is this day.
Munich. Sonntag.
If you would like to join me in Munich and also Salzburg, Vienna, and Prague, tasting delicious beers in Europe, you have your chance. I would love to travel with you. September 12th through the 22nd with Steve Bertrand Travel is my European brewery tour, and it's going to be a small group of us who are going to get treated well. We are going to enjoy private brewery tours, and like I like to say, you know, when there are people lined up to get in, we'll just get to go to the very front and they'll say, oh, we've been waiting for you. Come right on in. Enjoy these tastings. Enjoy this incredible architecture and history at this particular brewery. So I am very excited to invite you to join me. We do have some spots left. Don't get sold out. Let me email you the brochure, sandy@wtmj.com, SANDY at WTMJ.com. You've heard us talking about Hofbrauhaus. We will definitely go there. I've also asked our friends from Bavarian Beer House and also Hans Weisgerber III their suggestions for where we should go when we are in Munich. I've already gotten some very cool suggestions, so I'm adding those to my list. And just go celebrate and be immersed in the culture and in the history. Their brewing traditions in Germany go back to the 1500s and beyond. So we will get to enjoy that ourselves. Who's your favorite travel buddy? Think about it. Is it a family member? Is it a friend? Is it one of your gal pals that you've been meaning to go on a lost weekend together? Let's travel together. We're going to visit 3 countries in one trip. Germany, Austria, and Prague, and we will start in Munich the right way. Sandy at WTMJ.com is my email address, SANDY at WTMJ.com. Let's make some travel memories together and fully immerse in the Gemütlichkeit, that camaraderie, that fun that you get through travel and meeting other people, not just locally, but also abroad. So, and you can also see the information on WTMJ.com for the European Brewery Tour. So thank you so very much for hanging out with me tonight. I wish you a very happy National Beer Day. And if it's just too late for you to celebrate, don't worry. Circle April 7th on your calendar for next year. Thank you so much for listening. I'll meet you back here tomorrow night at 6 for What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee.